A couple of weeks ago, there was a settled view in Westminster that the Prime Minister was likely to conduct a reshuffle after the local elections and ahead of the King's speech, which is where the government sets out its legislative agenda for the next session of Parliament. And as I understand it, I've been speaking this week to a number of different sources, and now there is a split at the top of number 10 as to whether to press on with a reshuffle or not. I'm told from a number of sources that on the one side you have the Prime Minister's acting Chief of Staff, Vidhya, Alakeson, and you have Darren Jones, who is his cabinet secretary, if you like, arguing that now is not a good time. And then on the other hand, I hear that Johnny Reynolds, the chief whip, and his political director, Amy Richards, is pushing for a reshuffle in order to try and reshape Starmer's top team to better reflect the soft left of the party. And why does this matter? Because I think it speaks to the fact that the Prime Minister is unsure about how to go forward post the local elections, given the predicament he is in. So if the team was confident that he had the political authority to move around the top team after the local elections, there's less certainty now with the Prime Minister, as I understand it, undecided. I've had that from a number of different sources in recent days, so it's quite interesting as to what's moving behind the scenes, and questions about whether the Prime Minister has the political authority to do a reshuffle. Could it backfire? Would he be advisable to do a reshuffle to try and placate those in the party that might think about trying to topple him? But one very senior source was saying to me today that their view was now is not the moment for a reshuffle, and after this set of locals, the Prime Minister has to have a more public-facing moment, as they put it, to talk to the country about what he wants to do in office. But Jane, it's all been discussed because there is a view settling at the moment, at least, that Keir Starmer will not be the person to lead Labour into the next general election. That is what people right at the top of his government, people in his cabinet, are privately discussing amongst themselves. And somehow, through this Mandelson crisis into what are going to be a very difficult set of elections in May, the Prime Minister has to try and convince his party to stick with him and his